Previously on Black Men Unfiltered Network's Barbershop.
A billion people in China alone.
But think about this, though, right? If we're saying their women still desire men and their women are the catalyst to them being so successful, where do you put our accountability at for our women being least desirable and also being least successful? Because if you make their women be so great that now raises those men up, even though they're undesirable, what do you do for the black women? Is it the same level of accountability? You giving props to the Asian women, so then the black men on the same court, won't we have to be accountable for the downfall?
No, because those women have what black women lack. They have a loyalty to their men. Okay. They have a loyalty and a culture. Hold on before you hop in. They have a loyalty and they choose, even though their men are the least desirable, like you said, Hamp, they still say, hey, these are the people that are like me. I want to keep my tradition, my family, my culture, my gene pool going. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to make it work. And then on top of that, we're going to be highly, highly successful education-wise and business-wise, financially.
Okay. What race of women date out the most?
Asian women. What does that prove? I hate when you do this. You're two things can be true at the same time. So
I know, but it makes it tougher, Mr. Fantastic, because if they date out the most, you're talking about the culture. Does that speak against the culture and how they're all bonded together?
Not if they outpopulate other women by large.
Yeah.
Again, these are American numbers.
Y'all. We're not talking about the globe.
These are United States numbers that we discussed.
Well, even with United States numbers, this is what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that those women are desired by white men. I think the most common interracial coupling is Asian men and white women. I think. Well, no, actually, I think it's Hispanics, but it's extremely high for the Asian women and white men, right? So the fact of the matter that another group of men finds their women attractive and other men find their women attractive too, because I think they're second to only white women. So I think it's white women, then Asian women, then Hispanic, and then everybody else, right? So being the fact that they have desirable women, you can't fault. You know what I'm saying? How can you blame the men for that? Or how can you blame the women for being attractive to other groups?
Because you was making a correlation. So the Asian men, they still the most married, even though they're the least desirable. So that's a cultural aspect. And the culture, the Asian women do not want those men. They are marrying outside the most.
No, again,
they're supposed to have anything to do with us not marrying our black women.
And this, I hate when you, brother. Can we have a honest and like common sense conversation? Give me the numbers of the rate that Asian women date out, Sharon.
I'm just going by the stats that you are providing.
No, so tell me the numbers. I never said no. Do you know the numbers?
Now I got to give you the numbers.
Tell me the numbers. Do you know what it is?
I asked you a question. I said, hey,
do you know the number?
I didn't know which race. Hold on. I mean, because you think I'm not having an honest conversation. That's why I asked you what race is dating and marrying outside the most. It just happened to be the
white men and Asian women. White men and Asian women in this country date out the most.
With you, bro.
I'm not trying to. I was just asking a question. That answer just sounded like it doesn't go with what you were saying. That's all.
So what do you? So this is what you're missing. I'm gonna tell you this again. The two demographics that date out the most are white men and Asian women. Desirability being the first reasons for that. Now, the problem with your gotcha moment that you're trying to get is even with that, bro. They're not even dating out at 20%. So unless you're never going to have a group of people that date out at 51% or marry out at 51%, bro. Everybody's always going to deal with their own people, their own race, their own demographic in a major majority. So you throw your hands up in the air, you do all this stuff like, oh, you said something you really didn't, because even though they date out the most, it's still a minority of the total group.
Yeah, he's right, because even though black women are the least desired, black men still marry them. The majority of women, black men still marry black women.
I think it's 87% now.
Yeah, but how much it seems like. So as I'm listening to you, what it sounds like to me is that you're going off a stat of what white men, the majority of the population that's on these dating apps is probably white men, and they just don't like how black women look because white men like women a little bit skinnier. they don't like usually.
No. It's not, again, Sharon, it's not just white men. It was Asian men. It was Hispanic men. They did it of all men. The book, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was a big thing that everybody was talking about last year because the lady did the research on this.
So the majority of the men is Asian and white men?
No, I'm telling you, of all groups, black women got the least replies and the least interest or the least.
I understand that, but I'm saying the majority of the men were they Asian.
Obviously, we're in America, so obviously going to be
what
white.
I'm saying is that that's possibly why the black women are the least desired.
Not listening. No, I'm gonna say it to you again. Ron.
I'm trying to conversation with you.
Of every race.
Get a thought out, brother.
Ron, it was the same thing across all races. For white men, for Asian men, for Hispanic men, it was the same thing.
Okay, so should we be surprised that black women are the least desired?
By white men and Asian men? No.
No, period.
That's not true. It's not period.
Okay.
It's probably just for those apps. We know Asian men and white men, they like their women very small. And black women
who's the least married in this country?
Not surprising.
Pound for pound.
This is insane.
Us, black people.
Who's the least married as far as woman by race?
Black women.
Black women.
Like I said,
so is it safe to say that the black woman is the least desired?
No.
Bruiser, using that sample, using that data set, the reason why that data set may not prove it unless you also agree that we're the most least desired because we're the least married. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So that could also be true then.
For us, yeah.
No, you can't do that. No, Hamp, you can't do that.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying just based on Bruiser's the premise. Well, he's minding it out. We're also the least married too. So if we're using that
premise, you can't use the premise, and that's why I say everything doesn't always match up and connect properly. Because again, you're dealing with the women that have the lowest marriage rate. They're the least marriage minded. So we're going to suffer in the marriage numbers. Even if you wanted to get married, right, and you have a group of women that clearly do not, that's going to make your numbers suffer.
Mr. Fantastic, it's a study that shows my group who's the most marriage minded. Like that's would you get that?
I mean, I could probably Google it. I can know what you're trying to ask me. I mean, the people that have only way you'd be able to assess it really would be trends, right? Okay. So if you went by marriage trends and the numbers of that would lean to more so being the least marriage minded, and it didn't even more so. What pretty much puts the cherry on top would be them having the higher divorce rate than marriage rate. So if you have the highest divorce rate, that means even when you successfully get into marriage, you're the first and the most to get out of it, which would give credence to the least marriage minded.
So let me get this straight, because I think desire is a term that kind of made things confusing. Black women are desired. They're just not desired for marriage. So as far as a bust down,
so it's more
probably at the top.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
I didn't say it was a good thing. I'm just saying, according to, can we go back to reality? Are we going to do that? I think we kind of did go back to reality.
Good. The word "good" is subjective. I think that's great. There it is.
They're very good to have sex with. Everybody wants to have sex with them, but nobody wants to be in a serious relationship with them.
Okay, so that makes my point. So let's go back to this thing, because I think it's
I guess I would have to maybe if you can, Mr. Fantastic, somehow we could get you can email me like the sources that you have, because I would love to see that marriage mind, because I know that must be a very difficult thing for them to even prove, this marriage mind.
It wouldn't be something.
I would like to just see it and read it though.
I'm telling you again, I gave you the answer of you would have to pretty much mine it out through the stats of marriage and the trending of marriage black people
versus divorce, right? Marriage versus divorce is
not just marriage versus divorce, but marriage versus divorce, the amounts of marriage, the rate of marriage, all of those things.
What he's saying is it's not already done up for it. You actually got to go put pieces together to come up with
it's not just a survey. It's not just a survey that already exists. Do you want to get married? Do you not want to get married?
You got to go do your own math, basically. But let's try to do this, because I think it's interesting that we have a bunch of guys on the panel that's actually willing to come to a consensus on some things and try to have a base of understanding, related to the hypotheticals of the community all of a sudden being having a miracle and everybody agreeing on the terms. I think it's interesting we got guys because if we look at the word good woman and or good woman and good man, I think right now is the time to be able to come to a consensus to say, okay, like what is a good man, so that we don't have to have a subjective stance on it. And I'll be the first to say, if I may, you know what I'm saying, I would say a good woman is a woman who is willing to be led. You can lead her. That's it. It don't matter if she's fat, she's short, or whatever. All those other things that people talk about in MGTOW, red pill, bad, or whatever. Just if she's just willing to cooperate. And what makes a good man is a man who has leadership skills and he has the capability to express them. That's it. It ain't about no six pack, no six figures, and I think if you put those two together, then you can have a success. Because if a woman is already fixated on her preferences, oh, I know what I want in a man, she really can't be led. Now you got to come and fit into what she already have a preference for. But if she's willing to be led, then the things that she may be lacking that makes her a suitable wife, as long as she's able to be led and she's able to cooperate, she can get those things. Those adjustments can be made. Granted, the man has the ability to lead.
Can I push back against Mr. Fantastic?
You can, Brownsville. Give me just a second. So I was up here doing the AI thing that DJ Ham did as well with Google, and I remember reading it. So I put it in AI so they could find it, and they did. Time Magazine in 2019 did an article in Time Magazine now. It's called "The Challenges that Black Women Face in Dating," and it shows here that they're last in dating, and and they put the numbers of the other, ethnicity of people, plus the fact that they don't have. The Black women are basically in the article trying to figure out why they're not as desired as much as the other women above them.
Yeah, but this is going by apps, right?
No, this was in Time Magazine.
Right, and the study is done by dating apps.
Well, I didn't go into all of it, yeah. So that's why I was giving y'all the source. So
that's probably still the same thing.
Skewed.
Yeah,
that's the problem. The apps are going to make it skewed. The majority of people is white men and Asian men that like very skinny women, and our women are very voluptuous. It's going to be skewed.
You mean fat?
You understand in saying that, Sharon?
However you want to say it.
Do you understand in saying that again? That doesn't eliminate the fact of them being undesirable.
It does.
No matter what the reason is.
No, it doesn't.
It does not. No matter what the reason, because they're voluptuous white women, they're voluptuous Asian women. They may be rare, okay, but again, they're still more desired than the black women during the same state. We're trying to get you to see they're definitely voluptuous Latina women. So again, what you're saying is that's why I said you try to make these arguments, brother. You do a poor job because that does not eliminate the fact of the matter that they are still undesirable to other men. They're in last place.
I would even go on the record and say if we had an even amount of women on this panel, they would even argue that they already aware that they're the least desired.
This is insane.
But a lot of it comes from their attitude. A lot of it comes from their attitude. It comes from what they present. How they present themselves, right? That's one of the things that makes them undesirable. Not really so much of how they look, is how they present themselves.
Well, JT, I talk about.
Can y'all hear me, man?
The ABCs and
we got you. Right after Trey Brownsville, you go.
The women fail the ABC test: appearance, behavior, and communication. Black women fail that test often, and that's a lot of the reason why a lot of men, regardless of the color of the skin, want to marry them. And when you go outside of the country, you talk to men that are outside of the country, ask them why don't they flee to America to date American black women? And you'll typically get one of those three reasons is the reason why. Either they're too big, they got poor behavior in public, or they don't know how to communicate. One of those three. So I think that those three qualities play a big role in why black women are typically at the bottom. There's some other things too. I could go into debt, bankruptcy, and some other things the categories I talked to you guys before about the turnover stat. You don't want to lead in the turnover stat. Well, they lead in a lot of these stats that, STIs, CDC put something out in 2013 that said that 40% of black women had herpes. I mean, this is
it's 50% now. In 2024 it's over 50% now, bro.
So these
Yo,
a lot
can I
of things,
speak?
and we think that a lot of these
Yeah,
I got you, Brownsville.
we think that a lot of these other cultures, a lot of these other ethnicities, that they don't know the stats. I believe that they are aware of what's going on with black women too, which makes them undesirable. Go ahead, Brownsville.
Go ahead, Brownsville.
Yo, man, so these crazy narratives about black women is sickening to me, man, because there's an important context that y'all keep leaving out, right? I think our black women are the most loyal group of women across the races to their culture, right? I think it's not a matter of them being least desired. I think they just least desire other races. They want the black man to get it together because their attraction is for the black man, right? And I think when it comes to the black man, there's a group of black men that's not marriageable. And then there's a group of black men that are marriageable that's not, for whatever reason, attracted to the black woman. They're attracted to other women. And then there's a group of black men who are marriageable that's stuck in degeneracy. They got sex and lust at the top of their value system. So they're not desiring marriage, right? And then that leaves a small pool of black men who are both marriageable and who both have a recalibrated value system. So we got to stop pushing these false narratives, blaming the black woman, when in essence, it is the black man's failure, the reason why the black woman is going astray.
So since you're speaking on behalf of black women, what makes the black man marriageable?
I'm not speaking on behalf of black women. I'm speaking on behalf of black men.
Brother. Oh, yes,
You are. So everything you just said was negative about black men. Just
because it was negative, that doesn't mean it wasn't true.
But brother, you got to give time for a rebuttal. So let me help you out. First and foremost, again, brother, no, you it's actually the inverse. There are not enough marriageable black women for the available black men. First off, let's start with child birth, right? So again, you have a 14% deficit of where you have the 62% of black women that have kids versus the 48% of black men that don't. Okay,
that's a wrong stat, by the way.
It's not okay. So what's the stat then?
The woman is at 44%. They don't have children. That's the new stat. It just came out. So it's new information. It just came out.
It's not new information. I know where you got it from. The YouTuber that falsely said it. Again, brother, the census that came out in 2022. That's where you got it. Whole clip. They made it up. I'm telling you, the census that was used to tell you that 62% of black women have children. Okay. I'm 62% of black women have children, brother. Not what would that be? Fucking what, 56? No, 62%. Okay, and even let's play that game, Sharon. So you want to swing it that way, you still have a deficit. 56 that will be compared to the 48, but it's actually 62. Now let's just move from what it actually is. Okay, now we got to go to obesity rate. Does a man should a man want to desire a woman that's obese at a 60% rate? We didn't even count overweight, because you go to overweight, it jumps up to like 75, 78, depending on what stats you're looking at. Okay. But you're talking about all these negative things for black men. And then we got to get into poverty rate. Then we got to get into the fact of the matter that black women make on average from, I think, the ages of 30 to 45, the average black woman is making that $40,000, not even the 45 that they give to everybody. Black women don't start making the 45,000 until they hit 40. So again,
but you gotta leave room for rebuttal too, my brother.
Well, brother, you did a whole soliloquy. I'm walking yours down one by one, case by case.
I haven't talked for a long time,
brother. And when you did, you let it all go. And I'm again, all I'm doing is replying to everything you said, brother.
And also, I got a question for you. You said all the truthful things about black women. Did that mean that? What does that mean about you saying that about black women? Because you said that he's pandering towards women because he just said
he's pandering. He didn't give any stats. He didn't give.
Are you pandering? Jesus.
Well, I'm answering the question. You just don't need you to finish.
Allow me to answer.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, fantastic.
Nothing he said was verifiable. Nothing he said was factual. Everything he said was opinionated. Everything he said was opinionated. I just gave you everything I said was factual and stat based.
DJ Hand.
So Mr. Fantastic. So why, if you bringing up percentages, why didn't you bring up the percentage of black men in prison as opposed to other races, right?
Okay.
That reduces
I can do that.
Right.
Also,
additionally, when it comes to education, right? How come you didn't bring up the percentage of black women going to the schools of higher learning as opposed to black men, right? So listen, if you want to play the statistics
averages,
game, we can
average.
play it. But, what I'm saying is this: when it comes to the black woman, the reason why she's in that state is because of the failures of the black man, and that's a fact.
Okay, cool. So I get the rebuttal now. So let me help you out, brother. So tell me the percentage of black men in prison.
Listen, I told you to bring it up. You the one got
no.
Right?
If you're gonna tell me to bring it up, tell me the percentage of black men in prison. Tell me.
You don't know.
No, I'm talking about in comparison to the other races of men.
No. That's that. No.
Because that shrinks the dating pool.
No.
That don't shrink the dating pool.
So I'm glad you said that. So brother, stop interjecting. So see, you just hamstringed yourself when you proved the point that I ultimately wanted to make in the first place. The only ones the rate of them compared to other men is irrelevant when we're talking about the dating pool.
No, it's not.
Stop, brother. I know you're slow, so let me help you out.
Don't do them like that.
Problem with that is this: that's irrelevant. It will be what percentage they make up total out of the black men that are available. So now give me the number and the percentage that those men make up out of the total available black men.
All right, he's driving, so you ask him to bring up a stat while he's driving. So that's ridiculous. Number two.
I am not trying to argue with you, brother. Damn.
Go ahead,
Sharon. Let him finish. Hold on. Let him answer the question.
Go ahead. He's
we having a conversation. Just pull up the stat.
You don't need to pull up a stat if he's talking about the stats. If any stat I say, I don't need help with it. I know it. So why is he bringing up stats if you don't know them?
How about this? Hold on, fellas. How about this? Let's try to get away.
Hey, DJ Ham,
let's try to get away.
Right?
Hold on. Let's try to get away from stacks 1 second. Let's just try this. I don't want to Brownsville. I understand you might not be able to find that stat, and I understand fair text. There's a checkmate if on that. Just do this, Brownsville. The woman you're talking about, the woman you're referring to, are women that could be a wife, that are suitable wives, correct? I just want to ask that first. Now, you're not talking about every black woman. You're talking about a woman who actually would make a suitable wife, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So just give me a hypothetical, because we've been doing good with hypotheticals all day. Out of all of those suitable black women that's available that could be a suitable wife, or the black women that can be a suitable wife, how often and how frequently do you think they get thousands of DMs and thousands of followers of black men trying to get to them and pull a shot, which actually overwhelms any argument that there ain't enough? They can't even walk out of their doors. They got it right in their face. Black men trying to shoot their shot. And for any woman that is a suitable wife that's trying to argue that there ain't enough black women, they have it in the very palms of their hands where they can go ahead and get into a relationship.
The issue is this, right? Yes, they're getting the DMs, they're getting the flowers, they're getting all those things. But it still comes down to what I said. There's a group of black men who are giving them the DMs, giving them the flowers that just aren't marriageable. They don't have jobs.
Thank you. Now hold it right there. Because this is where I lost you at originally. What makes the black man marriageable?
What makes the black man marriageable?
Yes.
Is that okay? He has steady employment, right? Number one, he's educated. He has his moral compass positioned in the right way.
What is that?
That means he has his value system properly aligned. I already said that.
Well,
so
no,
I'm gonna pass the mic after this. But what you just did is basically said the black woman has to find a suitable husband. Basically, the black woman is supposed to marry a helpmeet, and men are supposed to be helpmeets. So a black woman is going up. I mean, I'm just translating everything you're saying. Basically, saying a man is supposed to fit into these women's life.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is a man is supposed to meet a certain standard, and
Thank you.
unfortunately,
That's
a
another way
lot
to
of
put
black
it.
men, don't meet that standard.
And I yield.
Right?
And I yield.
Can I
Okay,
take
so
a
you
challenge?
got-
Can
That's a check. That's a check. Yeah.
I take a
DJ, go
challenge?
ahead.
So,
Hold on, Arbrand. DJ Hemp, then you.
No,
Oh,
I think Mr. Fantastic can offer more edification by giving them the stat to further the point, so Brownsville can just simply get edified on it. Because I think the more information he has, the better. Mr.
Which that
Fantastic.
Hemp?
Like the 5% of us that are actually in prison.
Yeah. So
That's
shout out to him, man.
800,000. You know,
We did go past that.
It's less than 1 million men in prison. It's less than 1 million black men in
Yeah,
prison.
so it's like
I think
800,000 of us.
750,000.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, right? So when you're talking about 750,000 out of 20 million men, that's a very, very small percentage, brother. That's one of the things that black women have been using to beat black men over the head with for oh so long. When again, it's a very, very small percentage of black men that again how does that affect the
So that's one, and then the
But
college.
what is the ratio as comparison to the other races of men?
again? That's irrelevant.
Well,
No,
just
it's not.
in terms of
Hold on,
edification.
let me help you out. Again, you follow me. If you're talking, what's the significance of them in comparison to other men? Tell me that then. How about that? What's the
Because that's what we're doing. That's how you're determining that the black women are the least marriageable, the least desired.
Now you're conflating. You're having a mathematical fallacy, mathematical and logical fallacy. Because again, the only thing that would matter is the total number of black men that are taken out of the pool. The other men of other races are completely, totally
And
irrelevant.
you're ignoring context as well.
It's not ignoring context. This is a simple. We're talking numbers.
Yeah, so Brownsville, in terms of people in prison, 32% of the prison population is black men, 31% is white men. So there's still enough men to go around for all the races, regardless of the jail population. Especially because 31%.
Factoring the education and the money part.
Yeah, I'm not pressing them on every. I'm just going strictly about the prison. So Brownsville, if it's 800,
multiple things, right? Like he didn't just say one thing. The same way how with the black
I'm addressing
multiple things make them undesirable. They fat, they this, they got an attitude. But then when we do it to the black man, we kind of add in all the variables. It's like no, we don't want to do that. That's
Ron, your problem. The problem with the
DJ
argument.
Go ahead, DJ.
no, see that's not typically a tactic I employ. I think that when Brownsville was talking about prison and this specific time frame, I'm just going through the prison information with him, so he has it for future reference. So 32% of the prison population is us. That's 800,000 people. White men are at 31%, right? And there's how many white people in the country? 300 million?
They make up 60-something%. So it's not 300 million, but it's somewhere definitely above 250 million.
260, yeah, my bad, 250 million. So it's still a lot of people out of jail, regardless, Brownsville, for all the women to get with their own men, I think is the overarching point.
Right. But what I'm talking about also is the context. Because when you talk to black women, right, when black women are surveyed, they'll tell you that their attraction is for the black man, right? While other women are willing to date outside of their race. Our black women have proven to be the most loyal out of all women. So because of that automatically reduces their dating pool.
No, it's not that they're most loyal and you're helping them. This fallacy is that they're the least desired, so they don't have any other choice than black men. Black men is their only choice.
Fantastic. They least desired by other races, you mean, though, right?
Yes, which makes them what, Ron? Which makes them have to only.
But how you substantiating that?
You add in actually he's keeping it all black and you put extra factors on it. That's all
it's not extra factors.
No, but even within that, right?
He's talking about context.
One mic, y'all.
Yeah, one mic. Let's let Fantastic finish that conversation.
So again, I got it. So he keeps talking about context, the importance of context, where again he's saying something that is not true. We've proven it again in the temperature and the current state that black women are out here being divestors, and again this latest scandal or this hoax that just went through that billionaires are for black women, and they took something that a white man said and he had to actually come through and say, hey, I never said that. Okay, the man literally had to come out and say, I never said that.
You said it
Black
twice. That had
people
nothing to do with the
running with this
argument.
narrative. Hold on, black people are running with this narrative that they have all of these options interracially. When from like you said, BMU gave you the article. We're telling you that again when you survey them and other men find them undesirable, they do not want to deal with them.
We're not talking about other men though.
Well, what I'm saying is this though.
Hold on,
even
hold on, Brownsville,
you gotta leave room for rebuttal though.
Wait,
right?
Brownsville, I do, but you got. I'm talking to two of y'all at the same time, so let me explain it to your homeboy that's a little slow. If you're going to talk about, you're going to claim that they're race loyal, okay? If you're going to claim that they're race loyal, which again is false, I'm going to give you the context as to why they're going to claim to be race loyal when again it's not race loyalty, it's race like lack of motherfucking choice. It's
well,
race,
can I respond to that?
Lack of
that's not true.
It's the ceiling.
What I'm saying is this, right? So listen, if the Asian women communicated over and over and over again, they don't find us desirable. They saying that they don't want us. They want their Asian men. Then what are we gonna do? We're gonna say, okay, we don't desire them, right? So what I'm saying is, it's because of the reason why these other races of men are communicating that the black woman are the least desirable to them is because they already understand that the black woman don't find them attractive or desirable.
That's not true. Hold on, Brownsville. Black women.
I don't want you.
Brownsville. Hold on.
How many people we talking to?
Hold on. In the study that BMU mentioned and the data that was taken from these dating apps, black women were inquiring from other races of men, white men especially, and the white men were ignoring their requests. I'm telling you, what you're saying is false, brother. And there have actually been studies to disprove what you're saying. You're going off of speculation and you're doing the whole, black woman is God and queen and all this stuff or whatever. But you're lacking. You haven't provided one iota of data. You haven't provided one stat. Everything you're saying is opinionated.
That's
you're saying something that's crazy. Real quick, Bruiser. You're saying something that's crazy again that black women are the most race loyal when there's not even a measure of that.
I tried to bail you out, Brownsville, by just staying away from the stats and just